What's happening, you bums? Silent Mike, Super Training Gym. As I mentioned, got a little bit of a new split, a little bit of a new program going on. It's like a daily undulating power building, if you will. So I went into the lab, crunched tons of numbers, analytics, and figured it out for myself and my boy Connor are gonna be running it. But basically today is like sets 12 to 15. And I know the joke is, how do powerlifters do cardio? Well, they lift weights faster and more time, which actually in a way is true because the goal, also become cliche, but it's still true. The law of specificity rules all. So if you're trying to become good at basketball, you got to shoot free throws, dribble the ball, play defense. If you're trying to be good at bench press, you got to bench press at some point. So instead of doing the stair mill or lunges for some cardiovascular work, powerlifters need about this much fitness compared to other sports. GPP, general physical preparedness. Everybody has different scales and different tools that they need to become the best athlete. If you're an MMA fighter in the UFC, shout out to my boy Cody who just won the belt last night. You need a certain amount of fitness to go 5 rounds, basically jogging, sprinting, jogging, sprinting, jogging, sprinting, which is a lot more general physical preparedness than you might need in powerlifting, where you have 9 attempts at a 1 rep max at a meet. But in your off season, it's good not to be a fat ass. It's good not to be lazy. It's always good to be a little bit healthier. So getting some cardiovascular work, which basically means like heart working out, is good. So what we'll do is set to 12, which later maybe will translate to sets 8, 6, and then eventually it's the one rep max as we get closer to a meet peak, a testing. But once a week, I'm gonna hit anywhere from sets of 12, 3 sets of 12 to 3 sets of 15. And I know you guys like percentages and things, so we're working maybe 45 to 55%. And I give ranges like that because it kind of depends. In my off season, when my goals aren't directly correlated to strength right now, it's a little bit of bodybuilding hypertrophy and recomposition, trying to lose weight for myself. All I'm focused on is the work. So today I opened with like 335 beltless for 12, and it was pretty good. So then I went up to 365 and really pushed myself for 2 sets of 12. But next week, if I'm gassed, if I'm just tired from traveling, maybe I'll only do 315 for 3 sets of 12. But it's the work that I'm trying to focus on. Once we start peaking for a meet, specificity is number 1. So we'll always lift every single rep and set exactly how we plan to lift at the meet, 1 rep max. Sometimes when you're starting to use lighter loads, even below 80%, you might change your form a little bit, and that I think is something we need to focus on. So when we're doing sets of 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, etc., we need to really focus on what's optimal for building strength, what's optimal for building muscle, and what's optimal for not getting injured. I've mentioned it before in a past video talking about the pause squat, where people will pause and then kind of bounce out of the hole there. In training, we want to make things more difficult for ourselves so then we can adapt, grow, and grow stronger and build good habits over time. So I do it sometimes when I'm gassed. It's kind of human nature, but you can see in video Connor a little bit when he's starting to really get moving, because the weight's light. It's 225 for him. He squats over 400 pounds. He starts to just drop and slam into his knees, slam into his hips, and explode out. And under 1 rep max, many people can get away with that. But that's a 1 rep max. That's 1 load, 1 maximal time for maybe 3 seconds. Once you start to do that for weeks on end, and with multiple repetitions, the amount of volume, I believe the wear and tear for most people, not all, some people get away with this, for most will be too much on their hips and joints. 1, it's just more likely to get injured, and 2, I think controlling the way down will help us find a better position throughout the entire range of motion, similar to what I mentioned with like a tempo squat or the pause squat. If you just control it, and I don't mean a 3 count on your normal reps, I just mean what I personally do is, as I'm flattening my foot and really feeling the ground kind of twisting out, is I think about literally grabbing the ground and pulling myself towards there, using my hamstrings and glutes to pull myself towards the ground, feeling the ground with my entire foot, and then I explode out as I hit the bottom. As I get heavier, I also try to kind of rebound and get some of that stretch reflex, but as I'm doing reps, as I'm building strength, I really just focus on pulling myself, controlling the movement the whole way, building that work capacity. The more work capacity you can have, 1, it'll help build muscle hypertrophy. Bigger muscle, all things relative, will be a stronger muscle or have the potential to be a stronger muscle when trained correctly, peaked for a program. So that's why we, in our off season, will do higher reps. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways to program to be strong, but I do some type of daily undulating, if you will, sub-maximally typically for myself and people I coach, as well as some kind of blocks just to have an emphasis during that block. So once you can focus on that goal, I believe that you can chase down that goal better. Something like the Bulgarian method, where it's kind of congruent periodization, where you're training heavy often, kind of year round, and there's not really as many ups and downs, I think can mentally drain you. Rather than these next 4 weeks, I'm focusing on just getting a shit ton of work done, doing sets of 8, 12, and 10, just burning energy and building muscle. And then the next 4 weeks, I'll worry about perfecting my speed with sets of 5, for example, something like that, just to kind of direct your focus. Give this video a thumbs up, my friends. 2017, it's the takeover. We're growing, better content on the way. I'm buying new fucking computers and cameras and shit, trying to make this shit high quality. Do your boy a favor, subscribe, like. I'm out here. Appreciate it.